Alright, so here we have, as I'm trying to turn the stupid face detection off, get my video light, an MSI motherboard that I've had for a while. This is actually, let me see, where does it say it? K9A2 Neo2. It's been sitting in this M5A box for the longest time, and I've finally got around to bringing it out here, testing it, seeing if it actually functions. It's got 1 gig of RAM. It was very picky about video cards, and I actually found out that this thing's got an AMI BIOS on it. Okay. Told it to go into setup. I don't know why it chose not to. Delete. Go into setup. Oh, that's deciding it doesn't want to go into setup, isn't it? There, entering setup. Yeah, there it is. American Megatrends. So, I'm going to have to reset this because I pulled the battery trying to get it to work. See, Athlon X2240. I could probably do better than that. Probably have a better video, a better CPU than that kicking around. But I'll leave it alone for now. Like I said, I'll have to set this up correctly because I did have to pull the battery. So everything seems to be okay. Not sure what this cell menu is. I guess this must be for overclocking and such. I suppose if we really wanted to, we could. Maximum 600 megahertz. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Alright, we'll leave that alone. I'm going to set that back to 200. Where it was. Yeah, I don't think 8.4 gigahertz is going to be doable on this. So we'll exit out of that. And I'm going to go and get the case, which is sitting right there. We'll grab that out. Although I don't know if I want to use that case or if I want to use one of those cases over there. I think I'm actually probably more inclined to use one of those cases over there because this is probably going to be a almost diskless workstation. I mean, it's obviously going to have a boot device, but I don't think I'm going to put a CD-ROM or a floppy drive on this, where I'd have to set that up for it if I wanted to do that. So let me go ahead actually and get one of those cases out, probably the one on the bottom with the stupid sticker on it, and we'll get this installed. Okay, cutting straight to the chase here. I've gone ahead and installed it in the case. Upgraded the RAM. Also installed a wireless card, although I got to put the antennas on it. I'm just using this 500 watt Antec power supply for this, because otherwise this power supply is probably not going to get used. I do have to get the drive installed. The SSD, I'm going to put an SSD in here, but this is going to be a diskless workstation otherwise. No CD-ROM, no floppy. It's awfully tempting. I think it's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to overclock this a little bit. Let's go for 220. And we'll see what it does. Okay, well, I think I was too fast for it, or it was too fast for me. See what it happens to say now. 3.08. It was that easy. Of course, I'll have to run memtest to make sure that it's stable at that speed. I find it kind of funny that there's an extraneous apostrophe there in primary graphics adapter. Okay, I got it at the bus at 235, but still a substantial enough overclock. Hit save and exit. Does actually post. See if I can get a boot menu out of it. I don't know what the proper key is to get a boot menu. Missing operating system. Well, of course it is. Got an extra beep, so I almost wonder if it is as stable as it thinks it is. See if I can get a menu out of it. There we go. USB. Remove disks or other media. Alright, I'm going to have to see if I can find a bootable disk, because I guess that one's not. Okay, this is just bog standard Linux Mint 20. But it sees my wireless adapter out of the box. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll work on boot. We're going to just go ahead and install this. Because I've already pretty much decided that this is what I'm going to run. I'm already connected to a Wi-Fi network. Alright, erase disk. And install Linux Mint. Here we go. So, I'm going to do all of its things. I'll put in all these details, and then I will come back. Oh, it's the first time I think I've ever seen that error message. Let's hit retry. Oh, the installer crashed. Alright. Well, I don't know if that's because I've got this thing so far overclocked or if my SSD is going bad. This is one of these stupid 240 gigs. Okay, I did a couple of things. I changed this to IDE from AHCI. Even though I know that's an SSD, that might not necessarily be the greatest thing for it, but I don't really care. It's just some crappy SSD anyway. I changed which USB port the install media was plugged into, and I also backed out the overclock entirely, and it got a whole lot further than it did the last time. It still does that weird extra beeping thing, and I think it's related to that USB, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, maybe the USB stick's messed up, or if there's some kind of grounding problem somewhere, or what's going on. I'm going to try and put the overclock back exactly the way that it was. I think I'm also going to dump this down to 4 gigabytes of memory, because it's got 6 in it right now, and I'd like to have a matched set of RAM. So, because I know that can certainly cause problems when you start overclocking. So, the timings and everything are the same on those memory modules, but they're different manufacturers and different sizes. So, I'm going to just go ahead and change it all over to the same memory module. And from there, we can put the overclock back and see if it's stable. Okay. So this concluded. So what I'm going to do is I'll reboot it. And I guess we'll make sure that the install actually worked. So we'll pull that out. Press enter. We'll let it reboot. You can hear that beep. I don't know why it's doing that all of a sudden. Seriously? Okay, there we go. I don't know why the boot ROM is first. I'm gonna have to fix that. But my keyboard is not being detected. I hope it's booting and it didn't lock up. It it's doing something. So why is my PS2 keyboard not working? USB mouse is just fine. So that's interesting. Keyboard was working before. I don't think I've ever had that problem before. So I'm going to turn it off. I'll change the RAM out. And then I'll reinstate the overclock, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so this is really going to hell in a handbasket. I can only get 2 gigs to work. Oh, you... That, and this camera also seems to think that it does not have enough battery to work, which is demonstrably false. So, now I gotta reset all these stupid settings again. Okay. Let's see if I actually have a mouse. Nope. Seems like Linux Mint does not work with the PS2 peripherals for some reason, which is great. None of those are A4 Tech based, so I don't know what its problem is. Here's how we're going to fix that. I'm going to spam the escape key. Oh, it doesn't actually have it. Okay, well, I'm going to find the USB, which was right here. And we'll just boot back to the USB, and we'll get memtest involved. Yeah, USB on this computer is really behaving kind of weird. But I think I'm going to shut the video off with that, because I don't think there's really much else to see. I've installed Linux. I want memory test. So, we'll see if it fails immediately. But it is DDR2 800. It is overclocked, but it's not detecting the overclocked RAM. It's probably just reading the CAS. Anyway, got another system here that's complete and should be functional. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below.